Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Nioh 3. Today I'm covering a simple but important topic. What unlocks, items and otherwise can you get in Act 1 of the game to increase your power quickly? Honestly, it's quite a straightforward list, easy to go grab or farm basically all of it. You just need to know where and how. So that's this video, let's begin. The first topic I want to highlight is soul cores. These are very important because just for the yin position slots, these ones here, you get these talismans which you can self-cast as important, powerful buffs, like a 20% damage increase. Element weapon buffs which will keep applying that element so you can apply that debuff or even trigger confusion, dealing more damage to targets. You have talisman buffs like the water orbs here, or applying a debuff to the target to make them take more damage. And through a combination of that, you can basically juice yourself up for a boss fight and destroy them, or even reapply some of them during the fight. To get these soul cores, you need to kill a specific yokai and hope the core drops. You can increase the chance of these drops by just increasing drop chance percent in general, like different special effect lines on your equipment and other passives. But there's this one, a literal soul core drop chance percent. So whenever you're farming them, popping this on will be a really good idea, and it only takes 4 points. To grab that in Act 1, you're going to need to come to the northern eastern region, up Futama Road all the way to Futama. And it's quite literally over here. In this small house here, you have a large chest, a small chest, you just go loot those. This is right next to the shrine, in front of the castle itself. When we're set up to increase the odds of soul core drops then, which cores do we care about and where do you get them? Let's start with the classic, the power talisman that comes from actually a couple different types of yokai. This comes from a stronger yoki, but you can get it from the basic yoki, which are easy to farm early game. Bring yourself again to the starting area of Hamamatsu, the town, and on the main road, basically right here, is just a yoki standing there, so you can farm that one there. Next we have the other classic, the weakness talisman. You apply this to a target to make them take more damage, obviously that's very good. You're going to need to hunt these Kyokotsu though, which are basically these ghostly warriors with a sword. Thankfully there's a great place you can farm this super easy. Bring yourself to the southern western region here, and you need to come to the haunting caves by following this path around. You want to come in here for a lot of reasons, there's a big side quest here, but by making your way to the third shrine, the aesthetic passage, and then doubling back, you can run around this corner and find one. So you can farm this out until it finally drops you the core. Next then we have the weapon buffs. Buffing up your weapon with fire, water, or whatever element you might want. From these, you just hunt down the Onibai, and they all have like a term for whatever type that it is. So a fire one's infernal, a water is maelstrom. You can find these fireheads in lots of locations, such as the crucible. But there's a specific one that you can farm really easy, again in the haunting caves. At the second shrine, the Rimstone Pools. Halfway up those pools, you can even see it from the shrine, there is a firehead, so you run over, kill it, until you get the drop. Now we move into some really strong buffs that you might not want to use. This is up to you. Basically, they're ridiculously strong, but they have big downsides. So, for example, this one, Last Stand. Increases your attack, but reduces your life to 30% of the original value. So, you're basically a glass cannon. If you're willing to go for this, then it is obviously a top tier choice for that. You're going to need one of the Magatsu though. The best place I've found these is actually towards the end of Act 1, unfortunately, in the final area here, Saigakake. And you can come from either the main hall, first shrine, or go from the rear approach and double back. But from the main hall shrine, you just turn left, go around past these guys, double back, go in the cave, out the cave, back into the next cave, and that's where you have this demon. So farm that one until it gets the drop. Even better than that, so good that it was nerfed before the release of the game, is the Soul Purge talisman, which consumes your familiarity to give yourself a ridiculous buff. It was over 50%, now they've nerfed it for the full release, where it lasts longer but you get like less of an effect. But yeah, you are consuming your familiarity for an insane damage buff. Combine that with all the others and you become an absolute machine. If you're willing to do that, it's a top tier option still. As you can see though, it comes from the Ippon Datara, which again can be found in the crucibles if you're lucky. But there's one specific farm that's actually really reliable. Using the battle scroll system, in the Warring States period, you have the side quest Vengeful Blade, with the final enemy being that yokai. So at least you have a guaranteed way to spawn one with that option if you can't currently just go into a crucible and find one. Next up then we have the Carnage Talisman, which as it states will lower your defense, which is not good, but it is a big increase to your attack power. So if you're willing to absolutely stack up damage in exchange for being more vulnerable, it is obviously a good one to get, and you can get it early, right at the start of the game. People are getting this in the demo. It's because it comes from the Blood Edge Demon, so it's up to you how early you fight these things. But one will need to spawn based on where people have died a lot. You summon Revenants when you see them, they're like red crosses. You'll see this animation play out of these lights that shoot off in a specific direction. In fact, if you open up your map and look, you'll see these red arrows pointing in a direction. So you go somewhere in that direction, kill another Revenant, see how close you are, and eventually you find it. But it is basically a boss fight, so you will get the soul core after killing it. Lastly, I also of course want to mention the Oasis Talisman that comes from the succubus enemy in the Haunted Caves. You put this down and it provides this beautiful AoE heal. You get 5 of these, and it is a very powerful, almost elixir comparable heal. So just having 5 extra heals is great. If you play multiplayer, it's also going to heal them. And to get it is also easy. Once again, bring yourself to the southern region here, Maisaka. Go into the Haunted Caves and make your way through until the final point where you have the boss fight with the succubus, and when defeated, you'll have that talisman. Okay, next up for important power unlocks, it's basically the only early game ninjutsu I'm gonna suggest. Ninjutsu in general does very low damage, but you can get really great element benefits of say Flame Breath and Uncanny Bubble to apply fire and water to a target. Fire does damage over time, water is a debuff that makes them take about 20% more damage. Having both is even better because then you trigger confusion. By applying 2 elements to a target at once, it's like this pink aura, they take more damage. That's well worth having. The problem is that Flame Breath takes a bit to build up and you need to do a jump to actually reliably first apply it, which can be awkward in boss fights. Then there's also the benefits of having just a basic throwing weapon of some kind to deal with flyers, wasps and other annoying enemies when they're low health. Because you can do both at the same time, it's probably one of the best early game and in general ways to apply fire through a ninjutsu. So Fire Shuriken is a top tier choice, and it's actually amazingly one very early that I missed. You want to bring yourself to Hamamatsu, and as you're coming away from the first village, there's this large bridge and a smaller bridge, and in between it, on the southern point here, is kind of this gap in the wall hidden by all these boxes. So you can break through and kind of press your way through. Then as we come to the end here, there's not actually anything here. You need to drop down slightly, and then we have a body, which we loot. And there you have it, Fire Shuriken unlocked. Okay, I'd be amiss if I didn't talk about this concept for getting power early. It's to do with your blacksmith and a system you need to unlock by doing a side quest. So once you come to the mirror world and get the hub unlocked after doing like the third area and doing the first crucible, you need to come speak with the blacksmith and encourage her and speak with her. She will then eventually give you her first myth, which is just a side quest where she asks you to basically go unlock soul matching and soul extraction. The side quest will be marked on your map, so it's easy to find, but where she wants you to come is Lake Sanaru, and she wants you to come to the West Island here and go grab the item on top of it. You basically just cross the bridges, do a bit of jumping puzzle, and then you grab the item and bring it back to her. And with that, you unlock this very important system of soul matching. You have 2 options, select level or value. Level can be done with whatever equipment, including armor, but let's just take an example here. Here's the level 54 odachi. This is good because it's a purple, the highest rarity. Let's pretend it's got special effects that I think are absolutely fantastic. I want to use this, but I'm getting other odachi drops that are higher level, so they have higher attack. Well, you can now raise their attack by raising the level of the item, all the way to whatever your current level is. This requires soul ores of different colors and currency. You make currency by selling items to the little merchants. To get the ores, you basically destroy items you don't need by using the soul extraction method. And as you can see, you can get quite a lot of them from higher level equipment. The other version is the value. This is the problem though. With enhancing the value of an item, which is really good, you need the azure soul ores, which you can only get in a specific way. But basically what it does is it takes the value level and raises it. So this weapon is +0, then it becomes +1 and you get this major attack bonus. And if we go all the way to 5, you can see it's a ridiculous jump forward. Plus, when you actually make something +1 or higher, you can remodel it, which allows you to change the scaling of it, which is pretty cool. This is not something you need to be thinking about where you're doing your first playthrough, but I just wanted to at least mention it, because to get that resource, you need to use soul extraction. and destroy equipment that's already +1 or higher, which you will occasionally find, but in the late game, you'll find a lot more. But at very least, when you can, which is not that hard, raise the level of the main weapon you're using, especially if it's one you want to hold on to for a long time to increase its attack power. Next, let's talk about skill management for the passives that are insanely good that you can get very early on. The first one I want to highlight immediately is Awakening. This allows you to use your different onmyo magic faster, and it only costs 3 points to have equipped, which is really cheap for how good that is. So if you want to apply debuffs or buff up yourself during a fight, which we kind of always do as we've looked at, I'd recommend this. The problem is that it's a mastery, which means you can only have one mastery equipped right now. So let's take another mastery like Versatility that's good, can't equip that while Awakening's on. So heads up. Anyway, Awakening's insane. And to get it, it's super easy. When you first reach this place, you're going to have the 3 NPCs, the ninja, the samurai, and the onmyo magician here that's right by the shrine. So go speak with her and she'll give you a battle scroll. That battle scroll is way of onmyo novice. So do this and you'll unlock the faster onmyo casting passive. It's that easy. However, let's say you specifically want to use your samurai as your main damage focus, you're not using ninja much or at all, then you'll want to use versatility. With this on, you apply a versatility stack for each martial art you hit an enemy with. So in a boss fight, you hit them with a martial art, they get a versatility stack, use a different martial art, they get another stack. And that can go all the way up to 9 stacks, greatly increasing the damage you're dealing with melee attacks to that target. It does require you to mix and match different martial arts, but if you're focused on samurai, you want to be doing this. To get that, you'll need to come to Futamata, and the closest shrine is Futamata Castle, the defensive gate. So as we step in the door, we're going to turn right, and then we're going to double back and immediately turn right. And up here, we have this row of guys and the chest, which contains the skill mastery right there. So open that chest and you've got it. Next, we have the attack mastery, as I just want to highlight. It straight up increases your attack by 5, and I miss this. It's right here on this marker in this building inside of a chest. Hamamatsu Post. Closest one is indeed this shrine. So we come to the building, one of the doors is closed, one of them is open. You go in the open one and go upstairs. And on the left at the top of the stairs, we have this exit onto a smaller building, and also this balcony that travels along to the other side, the other building that's closed. And that allows us to hop into the window where we have the chest. The chest is on the ground floor though, so head down, and here it is. Glad I was looking this up because it's another one that I missed for quite a while. As you can see, for 2 points only, it gives me 5 extra attack. And even though it says attack mastery, it's not a purple actual mastery type, so you can indeed equip it for that 5 extra attack. Next up, we have an even stronger version of that attack mastery, which is another one that I'm very late to pick up, which you'll get right here by this approach in this region here, Nioh. Just be warned, you need to come from the southern side, through the pass to actually get here, and the door to this area here where the shrine is actually locked. You need to come around this secret road, and then you can get in. There's also an enemy base to clear out. But anyway, it's just here where this chest icon is. What you have here is 2 houses, one that you can't access, so you need to go on the roof and jump across. So we can come around the back and climb on top, then jump across, and you can see there's a hole in the ceiling here. As we drop down, there's a chest which should have our mastery item within it. And there it is, attack mastery 2. And as you can see, it's just like the first one, an extra 5 attack, but it's level 2. So you get 12 for that one, also for a minuscule 4 points. So that is also well worth having equipped as soon as possible. Now that we've got those really good ones, let's just highlight ones that I think are going to be worth getting and soon, for specific playstyles or just specific benefits, right? So the first one I want to show you is Oppressive Strength. This is another one that I'm late to get that I wish I got for Samurai specifically. Once again, we're in the same area in this region of Nioh. Once you've cleared the enemy base here, there's the chest at the end, which you can open. So as you can see, as we run in here, we have the large chest, and there's another one to open just behind the curtain there. But here we go, we've got Oppressive Strength and a small chest as well, don't forget to open that. So why I regret not getting this sooner is it is a samurai specific one, preventing you from being staggered during a strong attack and martial arts while that's going. So an example with the build I'm using right now with a big odachi is one single supercharged heavy here, which does have protection during it, but to make it guaranteed during strong attacks and other martial arts means I'm able to use the AP combo without basically ever being interrupted, letting me kind of brain off trade with bosses, dealing great damage. Just be wary that it needs to be during the art's proficiency when you got the white glow, but that's going to secure that actually landing so much more. Another one that everyone's going to want though is Enduring Destruction. Increased damage to a target after successfully landing a burst break. Many of the enemies are going to try and use these burst red attacks against you. You'll usually counter them with the R2. So why not be able to deal more damage? The first time you can get this is actually from a Sudama merchant just outside of Hamamatsu Castle. So you can do this really early. So here he is. You will just need to purchase it via exchange. So it's going to cost you 2 yokai teardrops, which you get by visiting the different hot springs around the world. Right, another one that I think you should definitely consider getting early is Vital Spirit. It increases your amrita gains, full stop from killing enemies, by 4%. The sooner you have that on, the better and faster you level up. And it's in the very first area of Tenru River. Bring yourself to the northern eastern point of this enemy base, and you have the chest here. It's on like a wooden platform, just loot it and you've got it. Last up for the video then, one that I think I should have got a lot sooner for ninja gameplay to help with key management is Hollow Form, which is found at Hamatsu Hill. On the southern eastern point, you have this kind of shrine gate, and just next to it is a tree with the item to go grab. So let's head on over. Be wary, the location is an enemy base initially, but on the southern western point of the base, there's a very hard to miss tree that's been half cut down. And inside of it here, we have this item where we can grab exactly that, Hollow Form. And as you can see, Hollow Form just means when you're using the mist, the after image generation, you get extra ki back if the enemy touches that after image. So you're going to create this after image right next to the target, and they're going to touch it and you can get ki back. Just further helping your management of your ki when in ninja form. But yeah, there you have it. There's a load of specific unlocks and locations and how to farm or just get the specific stuff. Things that I think are better to have early, and a straightforward way to get them all. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, do drop a like. And until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.